the high-end digital cinema camera market is relatively healthy despite the challenges presented by COVID-19. Although in the initial phases of the pandemic, there were closures to sets, what we found is that after the initial period of industry shutdown, in many production hubs, productions were able to continue under COVID-safe guidelines once these were defined. However, despite this, they are moving at a slower pace due to intermittent closures with COVID outbreaks, and then also the necessary extra steps taken to make production safe. As a result, what we've got is an element of a content gap. Due to the growth in subscription video on demand, watching and audiences growing, there's been greater demand from content from services, yet at the same time, there's been a slowdown in the output from production companies. As the OTT video market becomes more and more competitive, getting original content that stands out is more and more important for service providers. This is where having a high-end digital cinema camera can be really important, but rental houses have been quite stretched as production has picked back up in a significant way, with utilization going up very significantly, and sometimes there not being the availability of the cameras needed to meet all of the productions simultaneously. As a result, there has been growth in demand in key production hubs for some of these cameras, and this has been beneficial for many of the manufacturers in pulling out of this initial phase of the pandemic where there was a shutdown of many sets. From a technology standpoint, we've also got a lot of innovation in the high-end digital cinema camera market right now. In the later stages of 2021, we had key product releases from a couple of the leading manufacturers in this space, Sony with the Venice 2, and then also Red with the V-Raptor. So what we have here as well is new 8K products entering this market. And what this means in terms of content creation is there are more creative options available to directors, DOPs that want to create a unique look or character to their films. Against the backdrop of chipset supply shortages and component supply issues, the high-end digital cinema camera market has been relatively immune compared to other product categories. The reason for this is that these products are relatively low in volume, yet comparably high in value. So manufacturers have often been able to secure the quantities of chipsets they need and other components for these products, because compared to wider markets for video acquisition, such as DSLR, mirrorless cameras, pro camcorders, or even PTZ, which are much greater in volume, they can get the quantities they need for this much smaller market niche.